In today's episode on the TDSM podcast, we have a really exciting guest who is now joining us for a second time, Cassiy Johnson. Cassiy Johnson is a longtime print-on-demand seller and Etsy coach, and today she is here to discuss with us the best practices for success in print-on-demand in 2025. She's going to be sharing some practical step-by-step tips on some of the most important fundamentals of Etsy print-on-demand, specifically when it comes to streamlining your business. We're also going to be covering some of the most pressing questions when it comes to mockups and the creative design of your print-on-demand listings. This is a super value-packed episode, so you're definitely going to want to stay until the end. So without further ado, let's get into today's interview. All right. And Cassiy, welcome back to the TDSM podcast.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me back. I always love chatting with you, Hannah, and hello to everybody watching at home.
You were probably one of the first people that I ever interviewed, like 2 years ago. You and Ryan Hogue, I think.
Yeah, that was quite a little while ago. So real fun to be back and excited about this conversation today to hopefully help the people watching have a really successful 2025.
You have been one of my longest friends, one of my most trusted friends here in the Etsy space. So for anyone that doesn't know Cassiy Johnson, tell us who you are, what you do, and how you've been helping the Etsy community here for the last, how many years?
So yeah, let me start with that. So my name is Cassiy Johnson. Obviously, I started on Etsy myself back in 2020. So in a few months here, we'll be at the 5-year mark. I can't even believe that it's been 5 years since I got started. And I built up my Etsy store to being able to quit my full-time job, having my husband be able to quit his full-time job. And then I started my own YouTube channel. So I've been doing YouTube, I think a little over 2 years now. And I've been able to help thousands and thousands of people start and scale their Etsy businesses, which is just so special. And I've been able to sell over 40,000 items on Etsy myself. So happy to help you guys get there as well.
Awesome. And so you're really like the master when it comes to print on demand. I mean, you have maybe now thousands of testimonials on your belt. Like, you are one of the most trusted mentors out there. You don't hold anything back. So this interview, I specifically I'm doing like a whole 2025 series, and so I'm trying to bring people in and really understand like what should people be focusing on in 2025, because every year, I mean, you're in this for, almost a half a decade, and you just see the evolution of everything changing. And so it should be a normalized idea that things are going to change and be okay with that change. Not that anything is maybe drastically happening, but as the years go on, we should be evolving and growing as, Etsy sellers and entrepreneurs. So in 2025, what do you think is, some of your top tips, or what are you kind of trying to, with your students, get the ground set for a really, really healthy new year?
Absolutely. So I'll give you two answers. So the first one is kind of the general answer. If you're getting started right now, or if you're not getting the sales you want and you want to start getting them going, there's a few key kind of things that I would tell you to focus on so that you can have that successful 2025. Because making sales in Q4 in the end of the year is always easier, but the beginning of the year can feel like an uphill battle. So what I would really recommend right now to be successful in 2025 is focusing 50% on what's selling on Etsy right this second. So that's looking at things with bestseller badges, looking at things that have sold 5+ times today. Figure out what's selling literally today, right now on Etsy, so that you can jump in front of the customers who are already purchasing. The other 50% of your time you should spend on preparing for what's coming, say 8 to 10 weeks in advance. So right now, if you're watching this, say in January, that might look like Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras, Mother's Day, Father's Day, all those things are coming up in the next few months. And so kind of focusing on both of those things can really help you start getting sales right now, but then also start being ready for what's coming up in the future. And that can take about a year, I'd say, to really build up your portfolio of listings in your store that can sell at any certain point throughout the year. And then after that, typically you can build up a really consistent income.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. I think at one point, I don't remember, do you have like a calendar or like a PDF or something that help sellers know when things are coming up for the times of year. You can clearly tell I'm not a print-on-demand seller because I don't have this like seasonal. I've never had a seasonal shop, but do you have something like that or a video or something that I can direct people to?
Yeah, I do. I do sell a print-on-demand niche calendar. So I think it has 40 plus niches that you can design for throughout the year, for like holidays, seasons, appreciation days, for those more seasonal ones. And so I'll send you the link so you can.
Okay. Honestly, that was like, I didn't even know, this was not planned at all, but I really, really like you saying that. I'm like, cause I'm so not a seasonal seller. And so I just would find that really, really beneficial, especially if I'm print on demand. Like, I don't know, I don't even think about Mardi Gras or like all these like micro, events that are happening throughout the year. So I definitely think that would be really beneficial for you guys. So I'll definitely link that down below. So outside of focusing, just getting prepared, what do you feel like you're seeing that will really, really help sellers, like the next best thing that sellers can be doing besides just preparing for, being prepared and not working reactionary to these like upcoming events?
100%. So I think the other piece of it that trips up a lot of new sellers is building your systems. And by that, I mean, what you say, like, okay, I'm going to go work on my print on demand business. What do you then do and how much can you get done? Because I know a lot of sellers that are struggling, or a lot of new sellers, they end up accidentally working on a lot of things that don't actually make them money. Like reorganizing the listings in your store, shopping for different mock-ups for every single listing to make sure it matches the niche, or overthinking your pricing and updating it for the 12th time, redoing all your sections. All of those things are procrastinating and don't actually make you money. And so I really think that in 2025, your very best friend to start making money on Etsy is to start having a bias towards action. That's something that Cody Sanchez says, who's a really great business thought leader. She's got a great YouTube channel. I've got one of her books. And so for me, having a bias towards action in your print on demand business means shortening the time between looking at print on demand and actually opening your shop. Don't spend months researching it. Get started now, because you can learn as you go. And then shorten the time between deciding to make listings on Etsy and actually researching a niche and finding the niche to design for. You don't need to overthink that. Go find what's selling literally today and make a design for it. Don't spend weeks trying to pick. Don't overthink it. That's the best way to kind of get going. And then the next step is shortening the time between researching a niche and actually making a design. So I really would recommend, if you're brand new, don't overthink it. Text only designs sell thousands of times every single day. If you're not a designer, don't feel like you need to add 10 colors and 3 graphics and make something so unique that no one's ever seen before. Add value in ways that are simple. A cute cursive word on a sweatshirt sells every single day. Like, you don't have to overthink it. And then obviously you need to shorten the time between when you make that design and when you actually list it for sale. Because if it's selling right now, I don't want you to wait 3 weeks to list it. And so that's where automating your listing process can really help you out, to really help shorten that piece of it, which is hopefully my new software, Simply Listed, that can help you list your items a lot faster.
Okay, so let's hear about that, because I know Ryan Hogue, myself, I'm all about systems. I talk about systems all the time, and I know that it's like something that people, like a lot of times Etsy sellers are creative people. And so creative people, no offense to us, tend to be, the high in the sky people that just want to procrastinate work, even though they don't even realize they're doing it. But it's like exactly what you said. I would have 14-hour work days where I did a bunch of stuff, but then I look back on my day and I'm like, what did I just do in 14 hours? Because it's like you're just sporadically doing so many things. So exactly to what you said about automating your business. And now that you actually have a solution to help streamline that process, I'm super interested in knowing, like, okay, what does that actually look like in all of these millions of things that we're doing every single day?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, like, we're talking about these different parts of the process. Shortening the time between deciding to do something and actually doing it is going to make a big difference. And the reason why that's important is that even with everything I know from doing print on demand over the last 5 years, probably 70 to 80% of the listings I post in my store never sell once.
Mm.
And that's just the name of the game. Not every single thing you post is going to be a winner. And so obviously it's still about quality, right? We want you to do the research. We want you to make quality listings. We want you to make great mock-ups and all of those things. But it's also on Etsy somewhat about quantity. You have to do a lot of testing to figure out what works for you. And then you can double down on what works and make more versions of it, make more stuff for that niche, add that same design to other products. And that's where a lot of the real money comes in. But you have to find those things that work for you first. And so if you've been sitting there in your Etsy store and you only have, 70 listings in months, you are getting a lot less testing done to understand what works. If you can in 2025, say put up 500 to 1,000 well-researched print-on-demand listings, you could absolutely change your life. But that takes a lot of time. If you're still working full-time, that can be a really time-consuming process.
Right. And discipline. So what are you doing right now to help them streamline that process?
Absolutely. So the part of the process where my new software, which I'm super excited to announce, is called Simply Listed. It is a mock-up automation tool. And I can share my screen if you want and show
Yes,
exactly.
Please do.
And so let me show you this first. Okay, so let's talk about what it looks like normally to make mock-ups, right? I have my mock-ups here in Canva for this comfort color shirt. Normally, you would add all your mock-ups to one page, and then you have to add the design to each and every one of these. So even the fastest way I know how is to put a design on a mock-up, and then you can drag and drop and put your new one on here. So for every listing you make, if you were going to make 1,000 listings this year, you have to go manually do this for each and every design in each color. And this just takes a lot of time that you could be spending doing other things in your business. And then I'd save this. So in contrast, that's where Simply Listed comes in. So I'll show you exactly how that works. And I hope that you are so excited about it, because I am excited to just use it in my own business. So you'd build the same mock-ups here in Simply Listed. You use your own mock-ups that you've purchased, but obviously make sure they're based on research and really great mock-ups, like these ones from Watermelon Mocks are some of my favorites. So you'd build a template here in Simply Listed with all of your mock-up images, and you where you want the design, okay?
Yeah. Wow.
And you only have to build this template one time, and then watch this. When you click Create Designs, I can say, make me a mock-up for this design, this design. You can do as many designs from Printify as you want, and click Create Mockups. And now instead of having to drag and drop that image every time, it's going to bulk make all of those mockups for you in just a few moments. So we'll see those come over here into the approval queue once they're made.
No, I was just saying, this is amazing. This is going to save so much time. So much time.
Yeah, look how quick that was. So now
wow.
That design is on every single mockup, and you can make mockups for any Printify product. And soon I'll have any custom product available. So if you're using Printful or Gelato or anyone else, but yeah, now you can see the design is on all of these, ready to go. And all you do is select all the ones that you want to publish to Etsy and click publish. And now you're going to see those pop up over here in my Etsy shop. So you don't even have to download them. You don't have to upload them. This is a completely automated process for you. And so you'll see them start loading in here. And now all of my mockups are completely uploaded.
Okay, let me just, so for people like me that are, I know print on demand, but I'm a little bit, I'm like the perfect person that like knows somewhat about it, but I mean, I know a lot about it, but not so much about the technical stuff, right? So I would go to Printify first, create the list, put the design in Printify, and then I would go grab that design in Simply Listed and then put it on all my mockups, basically.
Exactly. So step one, upload your design to Printify, publish it to Etsy. I always like to do it as a draft. That way it's not up without mockups.
Got it.
And then you come to Simply Listed, and we are actually grabbing the design from Printify and putting it within this print area. So if you make your design small and in the corner to be a corner pocket, we'll shrink it and put it small into the corner. So that way you're not having to size each design. You're not having to lower the opacity. We do all that stuff for you. We can do candles, tote bags, even the, woven blankets. If you get a mock-up that has the texture, we can even do that. So, the sky's really the limit. I'll show you the woven blanket because that's a really fun product to sell in 2025. So there's your print area, and then here's a textured mock-up. I got this one off Creative Fabrica. You just put over it, and then we apply that to your design for you, so it looks like a real woven blanket, and you just got to click a button, make those mock-ups, and post them in your store.
Wow. So you're literally talking hours and hours of your week basically being done in 5 minutes. So
exactly.
Wow. Okay. So definitely now, we have Hello Custom that's doing the automation, and now with this, it's just speeding things up. So, I mean, realistically, and this is the part that everyone hates. I mean, we have people raving about this in our community right now. And it's like, I love doing the design work. I love making the graphics, but it's just what kills me is all of this very minute, like moving things over, saving files, uploading files. So that is absolutely insane. I mean, I don't have my own print on demand shop, but I definitely see the value in this. And for everyone out there that's really looking for, 2025, figuring out how to automate, how to be more efficient with your time, this is definitely the game changer. Absolutely. I'm so proud of you, Cassiy. This is insane. How long have you been working on this?
We've been working on it since April. So I think we're about 8 months now that we've been working on it every single day. It has been all consuming. So me and my husband are working on it together, which has been really fun. So we're really excited to actually launch it to all of you guys. And so I hope that you'll try it out. If you don't want to, you can absolutely make your mock-ups manually. You don't have to use an automation tool, but it would save you so much time in your business. And I will give Hannah a special link. So instead of a 7-day free trial or 20 mock-ups, with her link, you'll actually get a 14-day free trial and 50 free mock-ups. So even if you don't keep the subscription, feel free to cancel it. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. And I'd love for you to try it out.
And it's just such a necessity because launching print on demand listings just is never ending. Like, it's the healthiest shops have a consistent inflow. And what is that inflow for like your students? Like, what do you recommend? How many listings? What I tell people in general, it's pick something realistic and stick to it. But do you have, but again, I'm not print on demand. So do you have like a certain rule of thumb of like how many new listings people should be making every month?
Yeah. So there's no exact number, right? It all depends on the time you have. We all have, most of you have full-time jobs, you have families, you're doing this in your off hours when you have time. But I will tell you that my most successful students are making anywhere from 5 to 15 new listings every day they work on their print on demand business. Which, if that feels overwhelming to you right now, that just means that you need a better system.
Right.
So let's talk about that, because again, like I said, if you get 500 to 1,000 new listings up in 2025, that could absolutely change your entire life. Let's see. So if you made 1,000 listings in 365 days, that is 3 listings every single day for the whole year. And I think that'd be a good goal to go for. If 15 sounds crazy to you, I totally understand. But let's talk about what that system could look like to make the listing process really easy and painless, because I want you guys to walk away from this video with just like really good value and actionable takeaways, whether you use Simply Listed or not, give you some kind of tips to walk away with that. So my first tip, and I'll just kind of walk you through the process.
I love this.
In my print on demand course to my students is, number one, don't put your research to waste, okay? So if you find a niche that's selling really well, let's say you find, in my most recent trend report, I release a trend report in my course every month. One of the things that I shared was the horse niche. Horse gifts right now are selling ridiculously well. And so let's say you find that niche. I don't want you to do that research and make one design. I want you to do that research and make 8 to 15 designs for that niche. And the really nice thing about that is you can get so much more done in such a smaller amount of time. if you're making a bunch of designs for the same niche, because you get to reuse, say, the SEO and the research that you now understand how it works. Okay. So what that would look like, let me just walk you through my, 15 listing a day process. You would make 8 to 15 designs. Maybe that's one day. Then another day you come to actually do those listings. And I promise you, you could get 15 listings posted for sale in your store in less than 20 minutes if you use a repeatable system. Okay. So Hannah, I know you're not a print-on-demand seller, so let me know if you have questions along the way.
No, I'm following. I love this.
Have the knowledge bias where I'm like, I forget to explain little things sometimes. So number one thing you want to do is when you're actually making your designs, design for those designs on the canvas size of that product on Printify. So if you look at the canvas size, let's say on Printify for a Comfort Colors t-shirt from Swift POD, if that's who's going to print your products, then make your canvas on Canva or Kittl, whatever you're using to design, make it 4,200 by 4,800. So I can even share my screen and kind of walk through this process, because if you can just get these little things right. So here on Printify, I'm looking at a Comfort Colors 1717 shirt by Swift POD. This is 4,200 by 4,800. Okay, that's how big this print area, this box is. If you make your canvas on Canva that size and you make your design that exact size, let me delete one of these and show you an example. Then when I upload this design, you see how it uploaded automatically in the right spot?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not having to adjust it. I'm not having to move it. So that's step number one, is design on the right spot on the canvas, because then that saves you from having to overthink your placement when you get here on Printify, right? So that's a really easy hack to make things a little bit faster.
Love that. Love that.
The second hack to make things really, really fast on Printify is to use a listing template. So all that is I made something called my C1717 listing template. So what this means is I uploaded a random design that doesn't matter, but then I updated my description in here. So this is my full Comfort Colors description. I added all my pricing. So if I want to do a loss leader where one of the shirts is less expensive, in this example, I'm doing 50% off in my store. So I'm pricing at $41.34. So when I do 50% off, it's a $20 shirt, right? I'm getting all my pricing set up. I'm getting my shipping profile connected, everything. So that way, when I actually go to make a design on Printify, all I have to do is search for this template, duplicate it. And so now all I have to do when I duplicate this template is delete this design and upload the right design and save and publish. So, obviously then here you'd update your title, maybe the top of your description, and publish it. And so if you're making one for, say, like the horse niche, let's say you upload the first one and they're all the same title. Then let me find one that I already made as an example. So you upload this one and it has your SEO for your horse shirt. Now it's even better, because now if you copy this one to upload your second horse shirt, you already have the title in there.
Right. Oh, wow. So let me just say back everything that I'm hearing, just so everyone is very clear. So you have one idea in this horse category. You have an idea for, Christmas horse gift, right? So instead of just making one-to-one Christmas horse gift, you're saying, let that serve as an umbrella and then allow 8 to 15 other ideas under that umbrella exist, because when you're in that design process already in the horse niche, you're already optimizing for that idea. So you might as well set yourself up for the best potentials possible, which is launch multiple things or change something slightly from one to another, so you can streamline the process on the back end. And I know we just showed Simply Listed before, but we saw just now how to streamline it in Printify. Can you just show the rest again of what comes next in this process? So it's like a consecutive video, if that makes sense, or a consecutive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'll just explain it super fast because I feel like this might be easier. So you make a template one time on Printify, just like you make a template one time on Simply Listed. That way you do that work ahead of time. So then when you have 8 to 15 designs to post for sale, it's super fast.
Right.
So you copy your Printify template that you made with all your pricing and everything,
Yep.
change the design, add your title, and post it to Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
Then you copy that one, change the design, upload to Etsy, copy that one, change the design, post it to Etsy. And once you've got all those posted, you come to Simply Listed, click once, make the mock-ups for all those listings like I showed you, publish those, and in just a few minutes, you've literally listed 8 to 15 things on a more automated, systematic approach. So what that means is you're not choosing different shirt colors for every listing that you make. You're not shopping for different mock-ups for every listing that you make, right? Because you can get into that flow state so much faster if you do it more repetitive. And so I think with doing a system like that, you can get so much more done.
And you're not procrastinating. Yeah, that's amazing. And so where do you think is the best to get mock-ups when it comes to really good mock-ups? I mean, the ones you showed us are obviously really nice, but do you have any tips? Or I know that is, I see that as something that people struggle with a lot, or like they're just choosing just like mock-ups that when you search through the different mock-ups that they have, they're just like wavering from different brand vibes where it almost is like a turnoff. In some niches, it's like weighed more heavily, I would say, than just like a funny cat shirt or something. I don't know, but even still. So what are your top tips around choosing your mock-ups and where to get them?
So what I'll tell you is my North Star with print on demand, especially on Etsy, is you don't have to listen to what I say. You don't have to listen to what Hannah says, anyone else on the internet. Every answer you need on how to be successful is on Etsy. So if you want to start selling, say, the Gildan 18,000 sweatshirt, what I would do is spend one whole day researching that product. So sort by the best sellers on Etsy, look through a couple hundred and pay attention. Do you see the same mock-up for bestsellers over and over again? Because I can promise you there's a few that just sell so well. And so you don't have to make it up and wonder what types of mock-ups to use. Make the decision you make for your business based on research. So go look at what all the best sellers are using and go buy those mock-ups. They're for sale on Etsy. If you're selling on Etsy, the mock-ups 99% of the time were purchased on Etsy, which makes it really, really simple. And for clothing, that is typically the cute folded mock-ups right now. It's like folded on a table, or it's like a really cute girl, like, wearing the shirt. On Etsy, it's all about the aesthetic. It's about the vibe. Those do really well. And so if you can, again, just do that research one time, with those really well-proven mock-ups over and over and over again, then you can just be done with it. And now you can test what designs work, but you're not wondering and changing and overthinking your mock-ups. And you can, kind of be more of like the scientific method and test one variable at a time, which is the design, instead of everything else.
Wow, I love that. I love that. And on Etsy, okay, that's really good. I honestly did not know that because I don't do print on demand. So that's really, really great to hear. Wow, this has been really, really amazing, Cassiy. I mean, you've shared a lot of knowledge. I mean, just showing those little tips on how to streamline the print. That's beyond me. And that's why I recommend people to you, because when they're specific to print on demand, because I am like all those little technical tips I just don't have under my belt. So I'm super grateful that you came on today and shared everything that you shared with us. And I think Simply Listed is really, I mean, like I said, like I already foresee, I mean, if you're even making 15 listings, like you're saving I would love to actually know that number, like for 15 listings or even, 100 listings, how much time does it actually, like the time, do you have that information yet? Or is it still too early? Like how many minutes down to the minute, like you're saving by not having to place them on each Canva and then download each time?
Each listing, if you're fast at mockups, it saves you 2 minutes. But I know a lot of people who are slower than that. So it could be 5-10 minutes for you if you really struggle getting it in the right spot and lowering the right capacity and everything. So, if you times that by, 15 listings a day, every day, right, that makes a gigantic difference in how much time that you're saving that you can put into the parts of your business that do make you money, like more researching, more designing, more posting for sale.
Exactly. 100%. Well, I love that, Cassiy. Thank you so much, guys. The links to Simply Listed and also the link to that, the calendar are going to be down below. So thank you so much. And hopefully we'll have you on hopefully again in 2025.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Thanks for everyone watching at home. I hope you got some good value and you have a great day.
100. Bye, guys.